In recent weeks, the geopolitical landscape between the United States and China has grown increasingly complex, particularly as President Donald Trump has hinted at potential high-level talks with Chinese President Xi Jinping. The backdrop of these discussions is the ongoing trade tensions characterized by a series of tariffs that have strained economic relations and raised uncertainties about future cooperation. As both nations grapple with their own internal challenges, the implications of these interactions are profound, affecting not only bilateral relations but also the global economy. Trump's comments about a possible summit with Xi have sparked speculation, but they are clouded by ambiguity. While he suggested that a meeting could occur in the not-too-distant future, details remain scarce. The stakes are considerable. With Trump previously imposing a 20% tariff on Chinese imports and signaling the possibility of additional tariffs coming soon, Chinese officials are understandably anxious about these developments, as further escalation could hinder their efforts to stabilize a faltering economy. Beijing's response to the prospect of negotiations has been cautious. Chinese experts are keen to engage but express frustration at the lack of clear communication channels with Trump's administration. A delegation of Chinese scholars recently visited the United States for unofficial discussions, highlighting their concern that lower-ranking officials within the State Department may not effectively convey Beijing's messages to the president. De Wei, director of the Center for International Security and Strategy at Tsinghua University, encapsulated this sentiment, stating, "We talk through the diplomatic channel. But can that reach President Trump?" Despite the tensions, China has shown a willingness to negotiate. The Chinese Commerce Minister recently extended an invitation for talks to U.S. officials regarding trade issues, and there have been calls for dialogue about pressing matters such as the production of fentanyl. However, as the clock ticks down, Beijing is looking for clarity on two critical questions. What exactly does Trump seek from China, and who within the U.S. government holds the influence to facilitate these discussions? The dynamics of the relationship are further complicated by differing approaches to diplomacy. Trump's unpredictable style, characterized by a willingness to leverage economic pressure, stands in stark contrast to the more protocol-driven Chinese bureaucratic processes. As Evan Medeiros, a professor of Asian studies at Georgetown University, pointed out, Trump's remarks about Xi potentially visiting Washington may reflect more of his desire for engagement rather than any concrete plans. The matter of location is also significant. China would likely prefer Trump to visit Beijing, aligning with their national pride and avoiding the optics of Xi traveling to the U.S. The next month is poised to be critical for U.S.-China relations. Analysts warn that if substantial talks do not occur, Trump could impose a new round of tariffs, exacerbating tensions and complicating any potential negotiations. Wu Xinbo, dean of the Institute of International Studies at Fudan University, emphasized the urgency, noting, "My impression is that at the moment there is no substantive contact, let alone negotiations." As both nations navigate these turbulent waters, Xi is simultaneously addressing economic challenges at home. During a recent visit to Guizhou, one of China's poorer provinces, he called for an accelerated economic transition and better integration with wealthier regions. This focus on regional economic stability highlights the delicate balance Xi must maintain amid national and international pressures. China's economic recovery strategies are in stark contrast to the trade war with the U.S. The ongoing debt crisis in provinces like Guizhou underscores the significant challenges that local governments face as they attempt to stimulate growth while managing financial constraints. Xi's emphasis on fostering economic resilience within these regions reflects a broader strategy to stabilize China's economy against external shocks, particularly in light of trade tensions with the U.S. As the two powers approach a potentially pivotal moment, the interplay between diplomatic overtures and economic realities will shape the future of their relationship. The outcome of these discussions could redefine not only U.S.-China relations but also the global economic landscape, making it essential for both sides to find common ground amid the rising tide of uncertainty. The next steps will be closely watched as both nations grapple with the complexities of negotiation and the imperative to achieve a sustainable resolution. Chinese President Xi Jinping's recent inspection tour of Guizhou province has underscored the government's commitment to high-quality development as a cornerstone of China's modernization strategy. This two-day visit, which marks Xi's first local inspection following the annual sessions of China's top legislative and political consultative bodies, highlights the nation's focus on fostering sustainable economic growth while promoting cultural heritage and ecological conservation. During his visit held from March 17 to 18, Xi emphasized the importance of high-quality development, urging local officials to deepen reforms and enhance openness. Guizhou, once regarded as one of China's poorest provinces, has made significant strides in recent years. In 2024, the province's GDP reached approximately 2.27 trillion yuan, $311.6 billion, reflecting a growth rate of 5.3%, surpassing the national average of 5%. Xi's remarks pointed to Guizhou's transition from a region characterized by poverty to one that is increasingly recognized for its advancements in big data and technology. The province is home to China's first national big data comprehensive pilot zone and boasts 47 major data centers, which are pivotal to its economic strategy. High-quality development is essential for advancing Chinese modernization, he stated, stressing the need for Guizhou to strengthen its economy through innovation and the transformation of traditional industries. The province's efforts in ecological conservation have also been noteworthy. Once marked by extensive rocky desertification, Guizhou has enhanced its forest coverage to 63% as of the end of 2023. And major cities in the region have reported 99.1% of days meeting excellent air quality standards in 2024. Such achievements not only contribute to environmental sustainability but also bolster the local populace's quality of life. Cultural preservation was another key theme during Xi's tour. He visited the Jiaxingdong village, a site rich in ethnic culture, where he engaged with local villagers around a traditional fire pit. Areas with large ethnic minority populations should preserve their distinctive culture and let it shine through the integrated development of culture in tourism, he remarked. This focus on cultural heritage aligns with broader national goals to revitalize rural areas through tourism, thereby enhancing local economies while fostering cultural pride among ethnic groups. Xi's attention to Guizhou also serves as a reminder of the challenges that persist in less developed regions. The province's per capita GDP remains one of the lowest in the country, and its government faces a significant debt burden, with outstanding debts accounting for 72% of its GDP as of late 2023. This economic reality underscores the necessity for Guizhou to improve its business environment and integrate more effectively with wealthier regions like Jiangsu, which she indicated during earlier discussions. Looking ahead, Guizhou's path will involve balancing economic growth with ecological preservation and cultural integrity. The government's strategic initiatives, including the development of the new international land-sea trade corridor and participation in the Guangdong-Hong Kong-Macau Greater Bay Area, are expected to facilitate greater regional integration and economic diversification. As China continues to navigate its modernization journey, the developments in Guizhou will be closely watched as a barometer of how effectively the nation can transition from traditional economic models to a more innovative and sustainable future. The ongoing commitment to high-quality development not only aims to uplift regions like Guizhou but also to ensure that the benefits of modernization are equitably shared among all Chinese citizens, paving the way for a more prosperous nation. During a visit to Guizhou, one of China's most economically challenged provinces, President Xi Jinping emphasized the urgent need for an economic transition aimed at enhancing regional integration and improving the local business climate. This visit marked Xi's first inspection tour following the recent National People's Congress, underscoring his administration's commitment to addressing the persistent issues of poverty and economic disparity across the country. Guizhou has long been characterized by its low per capita gross domestic product, ranking among the lowest of China's provinces. The region has struggled with significant local government debt, which accounted for a staggering 72% of its GDP by the end of 2023, far surpassing the 60% threshold set by national policy. Many of its counties were among the last to be removed from the National Poverty Register in 2020, the year China declared victory over absolute poverty. Xi's call for economic transition reflects an understanding that merely relying on state policies to spur growth in wealthier coastal regions is insufficient. Instead, he advocates for Guizhou to leverage its unique strengths, such as modern mountain agriculture and the development of competitive industries. Xi's remarks came on the heels of a meeting with officials from Jiangsu province, one of China's wealthiest regions, where he encouraged a collaborative approach to regional development. As he stated, "We must work together to build a more integrated and balanced economic landscape." This sentiment is vital for Guizhou, which has the potential to become a strategic player given its assets, including the world-renowned 500-meter aperture spherical telescope and significant data centers serving tech giants like Apple and Tencent. However, the broader context of China's economy presents significant challenges. Despite setting a growth target of around 5% for 2025, the nation is grappling with the aftereffects of COVID-19 lockdowns, a troubled real estate market, and rising global uncertainties, notably from ongoing trade tensions with the United States. Analysts have expressed skepticism about the effectiveness of the Communist Party's strategies to revive consumer confidence and stimulate economic activity. As Alice Su, The Economist's senior China correspondent, pointed out, the world's second-largest economy is in the doldrums and the path to recovery remains unclear. In parallel, the National People's Congress has introduced ambitious targets, including a fiscal deficit increase to 4%, the highest in 3 decades, alongside commitments to maintain economic growth and manage unemployment. Yet critics argue that these plans lack actionable details, leaving many to question how the government will implement the necessary reforms. The recently released 30-point Special Action Plan aims to boost domestic consumption but falls short in providing specific measures for enforcement and funding, particularly in a landscape where local governments are already financially strained. Looking forward, the success of Xi's push for a more integrated and resilient economy will hinge on the ability of regional governments to adapt and innovate despite their financial constraints. As China navigates a complex economic landscape, the emphasis on local strengths in places like Guizhou could serve as a blueprint for broader national strategies aimed at sustainable growth. The coming months will be critical as the government implements these initiatives and responds to both domestic challenges and external pressures. Tensions in East Asia are mounting as China undertakes significant military advancements and demonstrates its military capabilities in response to perceived threats from the United States and Taiwan. These developments reflect not only China's ambition to bolster its defense systems but also its strategic maneuvering in a region fraught with geopolitical complexities. In a notable display of military prowess, China has introduced the Hongqi 19 HQ-19, an advanced anti-ballistic missile system designed to intercept threats beyond the atmosphere, including hypersonic weapons. This system, which took 14 years to develop, was unveiled at the Zhuhai Air Show and is seen as a formidable counterpart to the U.S. Army's Terminal High Altitude Area Defense THAAD system. The HQ-19 operates on a hit-to-kill technology utilizing kinetic energy to neutralize targets, effectively elevating China's defense capabilities against both ballistic and hypersonic threats. Haley Wang, a reporter for the South China Morning Post, emphasizes that the HQ-19 is expected to play a crucial role in defending Chinese territory from high-altitude missiles potentially armed with nuclear warheads. Simultaneously, Taiwan's military is responding to the escalating threats from Beijing with heightened preparedness. In a significant shift, Taiwan's defense ministry has identified 2027 as a potential year for a Chinese invasion during its annual military drills, marking the first time a specific year has been designated for such an event. This announcement, revealed by Defense Minister Wellington Koo, underscores the growing concerns on the self-governing island regarding China's intentions. The upcoming Hong Kong military exercises will be extended to 10 days, reflecting an increased commitment to military readiness amid rising tensions. In light of these developments, China has conducted large-scale air and sea drills near Taiwan with a significant deployment of military aircraft and naval vessels. This military activity is characterized as a direct response to actions taken by the U.S. and Taiwan, further intensifying the already fraught relations in the region. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Mao Ning has framed these operations as necessary measures to safeguard national sovereignty, reacting sharply to what it perceives as foreign interference and support for Taiwan independence. The dynamics at play are further complicated by external pressures, particularly from the United States. The recent deletion of language supporting the One China principle on the U.S. State Department's website has drawn criticism from Beijing, which views it as a signal of support for Taiwanese separatism. As Taiwan fortifies its defenses, including acquiring new missiles and aircraft from the U.S., it faces the dual challenge of enhancing its military capabilities while navigating the complex and often hostile environment shaped by China's aggressive posturing. Amid these developments, it is clear that the geopolitical landscape in East Asia is shifting. As China continues to modernize its military and assert its influence, the implications for regional stability and international relations are profound. The strategic chessboard involving China, Taiwan, and the United States is evolving, and the next few years will be critical in determining the trajectory of these tensions. Analysts and policymakers alike will be closely monitoring these developments, as both military advancements and diplomatic maneuvers will play pivotal roles in shaping the future of the region. In a significant diplomatic maneuver, China is poised to welcome Bangladeshi leader Mohammad Yunus with open arms next week, marking a notable shift in regional alliances amid escalating tensions between Bangladesh and its neighbor India. Yunus, who has taken the helm of an interim government following the resignation of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina amidst widespread protests, is set to make his first official visit to China, during which he will engage in high-level discussions and deliver a keynote address at the prestigious BOA Forum for Asia. Yunus, a Nobel Peace Laureate and prominent social entrepreneur, assumed leadership of Bangladesh's interim government last August, a transition that occurred during a tumultuous period marked by significant unrest and political upheaval. His visit to China comes at a crucial time, as the relationship between Bangladesh and India has soured, particularly after India provided refuge to Hasina and her colleagues following the collapse of her government. This backdrop underscores Yunus's need for international legitimacy and support from a powerful ally like China. Scheduled to address the BOA Forum on March 27 in Hainan, Yunus's agenda in China also includes a meeting with President Xi Jinping and an honorary doctorate award ceremony at Peking University. The significance of this visit cannot be understated, as it symbolizes a potential pivot in Bangladesh's foreign policy orientation towards China, especially in light of India's recent actions, such as the resumption of border fencing along their extensive shared frontier. The deteriorating relationship between Bangladesh and India is emblematic of broader strategic contests in South Asia, where both China and India vie for influence. India's recent military and infrastructural enhancements along its borders, coupled with its deepening collaborations with Western allies through initiatives like the Quad, reflect its apprehensions regarding China's expanding footprint in the region. In this context, Yunus's visit is seen as an opportunity for China to deepen its ties with a neighboring country while capitalizing on India's vulnerabilities. As these geopolitical dynamics unfold, both nations are entangled in a complex web of military posturing and diplomatic engagements. China's ongoing construction of dual-use infrastructure, perceived as aggressive territorial assertions, juxtaposes with India's significant infrastructural projects designed to bolster its strategic capabilities. The recent military buildup along the line of actual control (LAC) between India and China further complicates the situation, highlighting the fragile nature of peace in the region. While Yunus's visit may herald new avenues for cooperation between Bangladesh and China, it also raises questions about the long-term sustainability of this emerging partnership. Analysts caution that both nations must navigate their relationship carefully as regional rivalries and historical tensions could undermine their cooperation. The outcome of UNISA's engagements in China will likely influence not only Bangladesh's foreign policy trajectory but also the broader strategic landscape in South Asia. As Yunus prepares for his pivotal visit, all eyes will be on the diplomatic overtures and agreements that emerge from these high-level discussions. The potential for enhanced bilateral ties with China presents Bangladesh with an opportunity to redefine its international standing, but it also necessitates a careful balancing act amid the rivalries that characterize the region. The coming weeks will reveal whether this alignment will lead to lasting partnerships or if it will be overshadowed by the persistent challenges posed by regional dynamics and historical grievances.